Alright, so I'm just pulling back the netting. Let's see what we got under here. I'm trying to pull it off without breaking off berries. It seems to be stuck to some of the branches, but we're going to start picking some berries here. Let's see what we got underneath here. Looks pretty good. Alright, let's pick some berries. Alright, so I think what my strategy is going to be is I'm going to pick in sections, because I want to try and cover it back up after I pick. So we're going to get what berries that I want to grab in here, and then we'll let the others ripen up a little bit. I also have the other good healthy bush over there. Has also got a lot of, I let the birds take the berries off of this bush and those two there, but these are the 2-3 bushes that I'm actually harvesting from. So we're going to start picking and see what we get. So I haven't even really picked more than this area here, and I didn't really do that much. I gotta go get another container. I've already got a decent sized bowl, so I'm just gonna get another Tupperware and pick this area here. But you can hear somewhere over there, the bird. He's one of the birds that has a habit of figuring out how to get in here. He's probably ticked off that I'm under the net and picking. And occasionally when I come home from work, I find a bird under the netting, but they're just happy to get out once I let them free. But for the most part, the netting has done exactly what it's supposed to do, and I'm just going to pick a little bit more, and maybe I'll make some blueberry cobbler or something tonight, and we'll see what happens from there. Because I haven't even gone over this whole area, which gets more sun, and then I got this whole bush over here, which seems to be ripening a little slower than the other one, but there's a shit ton of berries in here too. Alright, here we go. So we're going to make the topping first, because it needs to rest for about 10 minutes after we've got it all mixed, and then in that time period we will mix the berries together. What we have here on the counter is 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. We have 6 tablespoons of sugar. We have 5 tablespoons of melted butter. And we've got 4 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 cup of milk. So we're going to put this into the stand mixer, which is right over here. Okay, we're going to start with the flour. Okay, get that in there. Then we get the sugar. Then we get the baking powder. Okay, we're going to lower that down. We're going to mix that up a little bit before we put in the wet ingredients. You just got to do it for a little bit. It doesn't have to be fast. Okay, then we can put in our butter and get the milk in there. Okay, and then we're going to mix this until it gets to be like a nice thick batter. Alright, so that's what we want. We want something that's like a nice thick cake batter here, like that. And then we're just gonna whack this off here and kind of clean it up a little bit. And we're just gonna cover it for 10 minutes. And in that time we'll start on the berries. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the berry mixture. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get ourselves 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Dump that in. Now these are about 3 cups of blueberries. I just picked them this morning. If you buy from the store, rinse them, make sure there's no stems, that kind of thing. I've already gone over mine. So you just want to make sure they're nice and clean and in good shape. Next thing you want to do is you want to get 1 cup of white sugar. Just dump that in there. Okay. Then you have another tablespoon of melted butter. Add that in. Okay, and now we want about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. You could use fresh lemons, but I just use this because it's easier. So we go 1, 2, 3. Okay, And then the only additional thing we need on top of this is a little bit of flour, about a half a teaspoon, which we'll just scoop right there. Good enough. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to give this a good stir. Just get in there, mix it all up nicely. Just try and get the sugar as dissolved as you can. Coat the berries nice and evenly. Oops, you see, we got one with a stem. Escaped my vision there. All right, get him back in there. Okay, that should be good enough. And then what we want to do is we want to get either a cooking spray, or you could even grease this with butter, but you just take your pan. I'm just going to give it a quick spray. Okay, good enough. And we're just going to spoon this in. Okay, load it out there nicely. And once your 10 minutes is up on your waiting on the batter, then we'll put that on. Alright, so we've got the blueberry mixture in the bowl, and we have our already made batter that we made earlier after it rested for 10 minutes. And you just want to get this in here and just kind of spoon it on. You don't want to pour it on, you want to spoon it. Make globs that are spaced out a little bit, because you want to let area for the steam to get out while this cooks. And you want to just kind of cover as much of this as you can. Sometimes I don't get the spacing right with the volume. I get more in one spot than another, but that's okay. Put this guy over here. Once this is all cooked, you just kind of grab a big fat spoon and you just spoon this out and put it on a plate with some ice cream, maybe a little whipped cream. Okay, let's fill in that blob right there. Get some in on the wall. Get some over here. And you can maybe just move it around a little bit, kind of cover up. It's going to expand with the baking powder, so it's not too super critical. Okay, put that off to the side. Let me get that guy right there. Okay, now what we have left here is, this is just a little bit of brown sugar, and I'm just going to add some cinnamon to it. I use brown sugar. The recipe called for white, but this is kind of like if you get a blueberry muffin and it's got that nice crystallized sugar on top. You're just going to sprinkle it on top, that's all. A little cinnamon, a little sugar. And just go boop, 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 boop. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's what we're looking at. And now we're just going to go into the oven. So you want to preheat your oven to 375, and there's no real set time for baking it. You just want that to be nice and golden brown up on top. There you go, blueberry cobbler.